The greatest figures in history are immortalized in marble and bronze. Their faces stare back at us through memorials, paintings, and currency. But for the first time on television, a completely new and time-intensive process has been developed to show us what these historical figures really looked like. Photoreal models based on their life and death masks. How close are these positive impressions to the way someone really looks? Rorie Brophy is one of the few sculptors in the world who has perfected the ancient techniques of mask making. Through his work, Brophy has come to believe a well-executed mask is a mirror.
Putting a layer of grease or petroleum jelly onto the face, it works like a release agent. So the bandage won't stick to the skin and to the hair and will release quite easily.
The technique Brophy is using is similar to the way Lincoln's mask was created.
So this is the plaster bandage, which you mix with water, and it sets very quickly, about 2, maybe 3 minutes. Forms a light, thin, hard mask, and that's what's going to give us our mold.
Modern plaster bandages set quickly, but in Lincoln's time, the hardening process would have taken over an hour.
This is the layer that takes all the detail of the face, all the little expression lines and wrinkles. So we get it on nice and fast while the plaster's still wet. It sets very fast. We just make sure we rub it in really, really well. Now we just need to go over the lips.
Breathing becomes difficult at this point.
This is the last layer now.
A second layer of plaster is placed over the first to reinforce the mask and capture the true shape of the face.
The plaster is set now. So you begin by just loosening around the seam lines. The plaster is hard now. It's like a hard eggshell. It's also warm. It heats up. Now you're going to lose a couple of little hairs now. You're going to feel it tugging along your eyebrows. So just, there we go. Okay.
This form is called the negative.
We've got all the form of the face, and the eyes, and the eyebrows, you can see. It's all there, we've got all the details we need. There's very little damage to it. Yes, we can go ahead and cast this up.
That was a very dark experience, and very claustrophobic, and at one point very peaceful. A little uncomfortable at the end, especially when they pull the plaster off and it pulls the hairs out.
To make the positive form of the face, various substances can be poured in. Brophy uses beeswax hardened with resin, the same materials used to make death masks in antiquity.
This is very, very good for taking a good impression. Wax will give you that beautiful, soft, almost skin tone. We've got all the skin pores just all around here. And the important details are there. You always want the lips and mouth to be nice and detailed and everything there. The eyes and all the detail around the eyes has come out perfectly. And it clearly looks like the person we cast.
Here's the scar on my chin, which you can see quite clearly there. And there's another scar on my forehead at the top here. And then you've got all my lines across the top here. So it's pretty convincing.
A life-cast face like this will give you nearly perfect detail. It will be as good as having the real face there.
By placing the mask side by side with the face from which it was created, it's a twin. This demonstrates that a life or death mask is closer to capturing someone's true face than even a photograph. And whether you are using wax or computer animation, the result is going to be a near-perfect copy of the human face. Creating 3D models from death masks means we now have the ability to see the real face and not just what an artist or the subject himself wants us to see.